They'll be calling you a radical. For all you people that think that Fukushima's gone away, it's over. Pull your fucking heads completely out of your ass. The news cycle. Oh, we got Obama talking about transgender bathrooms, head games. Go ahead and give it to me. Shiny ball, freaking gaslighting, freaking contemporary. The zenith of life is comfortability. I freaking moved from Michigan to San Diego. Oh, look at my equity in my house in San Francisco. I live on the coast. TikTok, Diablo Canyon, San Onofre clock. I'm going to talk about Japan. G7, the G7. So now, if you don't believe that what's going on in Japan, it's invisible. I can't taste it. I can't see it. They're burning the waste right here, right now. I was in Vienna last year at this time when the IAEA overrode their own laws and gave Fukushima, Japan, Tepco, which is Westinghouse, which is Toshiba, which is the United States Department of Energy. I mean, let's get right down to this. We could talk Tepco, we could talk the Japanese government, we could talk, you know, General Electric, we could talk Westinghouse. Really, who is it? The United States Department of Energy are the mass murderers. Period. That is who Westinghouse is. I mean, come on, the revolving door. Let's go. So we go to, you know, this Department of Agriculture, which we know is the United States Department of Monsanto. The Department of Treasury. Come on, we know that is the United States of Department of Goldman Sachs. You know, we go down to every one of these agencies. You go to D.C. You go to D.C., the Department of Energy dwarfs any of them. Their buildings 30 times bigger until they get Homeland Security freaking big. That incredible, grotesque. I can't even believe they got permission to build that big, grotesque monster on the mall. I mean, you think about it. They build it on the mall. So the Department of Energy is runs this show. They're the mass murdering cabal of evil, sick bastards. So the G7, you know, I'm glad they're over there. You know, every one of those dignitaries. So they come out, Tepco, which is the Department of Energy, comes out and makes a statement. We're going to stand down, we're going to delay the cleanup of number one, their dog and pony show going, while the G7 summit is in session here, which is the 26th and 27th of this month, here in just a few days. What? Why would they do that? Well, it just shows you what's going on. They know that they're spewing freaking nuclear waste all over every day. We're gonna stop it. You know, it's just like I got friends and they're like, people are talking, well, oh, we don't believe how bad it is in Japan, whatever, it's okay. Yeah, because number one, no one talks about it. Number two, you can't smell it, you can't taste it. Oh, we're going on our honeymoon over there. I said, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. You know, find something else to do. Go somewhere else. You know, they come back for 2 weeks in the Forbidden City, and they're like, oh my God, we should have listened to you, Kevin. It's incredibly disgusting over there. The Forbidden City is, I mean, that, you know, it's the only city that didn't get firebombed out. So let's put all the waste there. She says you can, she says, people say you can't smell it. Oh, she says, oh, you can smell it. It's horrible. Them ugly big black bags everywhere. There's over 11 million 2-ton freaking bags. She says, you can, she says, so you personally have conversations with people. She says, it's horrific. I says, yeah. She says, oh my God. I says, you know, cancer takes a while to mutate. So this is, it's like the Olympics. You know, you saw the bridge collapse down there. You know, the International Olympic Committee, I mean, we're talking right here. You're talking one of the most corrupt organizations in the history of freaking mankind. That's why there was no Olympics for anything. I mean, it's a globalist regime from hell, and the IAEA are the exact same people. You know, they don't care who shows up to the Olympics. They don't give a fuck. It's all about NBC's contract. You know, you think about it. You watch the Olympics, or it's the same cropped bullshit. It's like when I mean, they use fake footage, fake everything. You know, it's all cropped, sterile bullshit. You know, 80 fucking 7 minutes of fucking commercials, 3 minutes of an actual fucking venue. you know, and it's chopped crop. It's the television contract, you know, and well, that's the byproduct. It's the looting of the community. So as they build the venues, where they're looting fucking trillions and billions fucking out. They just loot it and loot it, loot it. The taxpayer fucking funds it. It's all corrupt. They just loot these same fucking all. But look them up. I mean, it's amazing. So that's who fucking run this fucking show. So they got permission in Vienna. I was protesting. He told me, the head of fucking UN security in Vienna, he says, we haven't had any resistance, any protests, any nuclear protest here. He says, I've been here forever and ever and ever, Kevin. You know, and they detained me. They detained Sandra, but, you know, we got that place. He says, you're the first one. And so when they came walking in, because they just strolled, you know, off the subway, the beautiful subway in Vienna, that beautiful, incredible place that, you know, Austria, those great anti-nuclear activists, they are, you know, they were, you know, they see it, you know, right in their face. They've had no resistance, you know. Carte Blanche? No. Kevin Blanche? No. So, for all you people, and it's San Onofre, I want to mention about San Onofre. Look, yeah, the reactor per se is shut down. But let's remember this. Out of all 104 reactors, which we're getting lower and lower on reactors every day, on the actual generator shutting down, that's 1/10 of the story. The spent fuel pools are all fucking loaded up. San Onofre has had more fucking Zerk fucking rubs than all other 104 reactors combined. They Zerk rub. Now look, when they Zerk fucking rub, that's a catastrophe. You know how many they fucking have? They're having right now, every fucking day, all fucking day. What do? How do they handle that? They fucking leach it off into the Pacific Ocean. And we've been saying it for years. I've been saying they've been leaching it right there forever. And nobody fucking believe me. And I'm like, hello, now they've come out and Channel 7's investigative report fucking proves it. Yet you're still fucking over there fucking grandstanding like it's fucking nothing. I mean, I can't believe, wake the fuck up down there. It's just like, you know, we're talking about Peavy and Pickett's fucking collusion on the fucking, you know, shaking down the fucking rate packers again for another 3-point rewind. I want to say thank you to the, you know, commission down there who reopened and overrode Kamala Harris, she's a crook. She's a crook. Jerry Brown, come on, Jerry Brown. The California people's will was fucking spoken inside the House of Sacramento and said straight up, we want to see these emails. The judge ruled, look, Brown, we need your emails with it. You know Brown's sister works for it. You know Brown, so he goes to the appellate court. Well, the appellate court's Jerry Brown's ex-roommate at Yale fucking Skull and Bones fucking law. That's a reclusion by definition. You know, you want to start throwing fucking some bad karma on yourself and fucking, I mean, look what they did to Barbara Boxer. You know, Kamala Harris going to be the new Barack Obama fucking, I mean, please. Let's talk about the fucking $1 billion. Well, more than $1 billion. You know how much they were scamming? Look, everybody says, oh, it was just a guy retrofitting who tried a thing and it blew. Fucking bullshit. Look, they were charging you X amount of fucking billions of dollars for the fucking generator. They were fucking going by and they went and bought a fucking old fucking clunker for fucking, to save $1 billion. They weren't telling anybody. This was all fucking hush-hush secret. So who was getting the $1 billion? Huh? You know how many times they've done that? I've been fucking reporting they cheat every fucking chance they get. Every chance they have a shutdown, they go in, they change equipment, they fucking lie. They charge you, you know, it's like you go to the fucking mechanic, the crooked fucking mechanic. All it is. Oh, you got a widget malfunction on your fucking brake fucking operator. You know, God, that's a big deal. And they just, because there's no accountability, and they say, okay, that's going to be fucking, you know, $7,000. When then they fucking go in there and fucking use fucking $10 used they pull off a fucking out of a boneyard. They fucking, look, they were cheating on the fucking exchange. And while they were trying to cheat it and retrofit, that fucker blew. And I'm not being a little bit, it blew all fucking over you. Same in Indian Point. Look, I have whistleblowers. Indian Point's been leaking into the fucking Hudson for years. Those spent fuel pools are fucking leaking, and the intercity's on the take. The guys who dive in, I mean, they have welders that go in there, and they actually are in the fucking fuel pools. You know, wetsuits, the whole fucking, can you imagine? You know, I'm friends with those guys. I have guys that, you know, were in Fukushima, Japan, long before it happened, in those vent holes. You know, I knew that the fucking mob ran all the fucking cleanups and the fucking shutdowns in fucking Japan for years and years. It's the same situation in the United States. When they go into shutdown, for instance, Arkansas 1, they were pulling the same shit. Who the fuck is working on Easter Sunday? What? Because they know there's no regulators, nobody's going to be working on Easter Sunday, so that's when they cheat. That's when that young man was killed there. You know, that's how they play. You know, they use the fucking, whatever crooked apparatus they can find. They bust in the fake worker, you know, that's what they do. I mean, everybody needs to wake the fuck up. Fukushima's not going, anybody who's fucking in denial that the Pacific Ocean is not dying, you are a fucking moron. More whales have washed up fucking dead on the coast of California in the last 2 years than the previous 100 combined. You know, the big whales, all of them. I mean, starfish fucking gone. I mean, tide pool's fucking empty, bleached out. I mean, I walked from San Diego to fucking San Francisco in chunks, in crooked. I've looked at hundreds and hundreds of thousands of tide pools. Hundreds. I'm telling you, you can't find any starfish anymore. You know, the Central Coast has been so famous. You know, you go to there, right where Diablo can. You think about those rats. I mean, they block you. That's one place you can't walk. You got to go. You got to talk. That's one of the most beautiful, maybe the most beautiful place on the face of the earth. You can't even hide it. But that's where the natives used to launch their canoes. Used to be called, you know, I call it the, I mean, the Chumash called it the Mama's Heart. Changed it to Diablo because when the Spaniards sent there, a freaking tsunami hit. You know, so they're famous for their freaking purples and their oranges and what. I've been there multiple times on the piers, the wells, freaking. It's such, you can see why everybody, you know, the natural slope of the landscape. Saw the California natives in there, you know, launch their canoes and do their ceremonies. Well, you know, I was standing right there when the family of freaking seals come up to visit. You know, you could see they're missing. I'm telling you. I mean, yeah, you can like a few crabs here, a few little things there and here and there, but I'm telling you, you're talking in the 90% collapse. Okay, salmon run numbers. So it's pretty well done at the Bonneville now. 90,000. 90,000. You know, just a few years ago, they're predicting 1.2 million. 90,000. Yeah, they kept dropping 388, 188, 90,000. You know, the other dams are freaking completely free for all. I mean, what did somebody tell me? Tim called me today, said the Rogue has 167 fish. I mean, these guys fished every day for 40 days. That's all he does, you know. By the way, they bought the permits to use 2 pools. They caught 4 fish. I mean, salmon go to sea for 4 to 5 years. Hello. I mean, what the, I mean, what a freaked out country we live in. This is a freak show. You know, you seen the debt. Oh, everything's cool. You seen the participate. Yeah, that's why you're all popping fucking pills. You know, everybody dressing up. They're, you know, 60, 50, 70-year-olds. And then you got these echo boomers, Johnny. They're completely out of their fucking mind. You're talking the most ignorant people in the world. I mean, that's not opinion. That's freaking well documented. You know, that these people are that ignorant and that fucking gone. And Canadians are even worse. You know, everybody bad thing. I mean, that's an ignorant fucking populace of people if they're really ignorant. What happened? You know, but here, my God, the emperor has no fucking clue. How can you possibly not give a fuck about the sea? I'm blown away. You know, of all things, everybody, I mean, that's all whole life. Everybody, you love whales, and rightfully so. You know, they love the sea lions, they love the seals, they love the dolphins, they love the whales. What's not to love about them? You know, the beautiful coast, the smell, the taste. Yeah, I mean, you go down there all the way along. When I got to Half Moon Bay, I had to walk like this. Well, I was walking like this because it fucking smells like death so bad. Oh, can we just move from Michigan? We can't stand it. Get that stinking fucking well off our beach. Let's maybe get those fucking homeless that were born and raised in San Francisco and San Diego. Get them off there. Fucking ship them to fucking Oregon. You know? Okay. All right. So it's not going away. Fukushima's not going away. It's most likely going to kill you. It's going to kill someone in your family, and most likely going to kill you. You know. The radiation fucking levels in the atmosphere are off the fucking hook. It just keeps spewing and spewing. If this article does not prove to you that they're fucking spewing fucking waste all over Japan. I got news, the jet stream moves left to right. Do you know what a fugo bomb is? Fugo me not, fugo me mod. I stood right here on that. I mean, look at this video on that fucking day. Right here. You're willing to fucking give up your fucking life for your dogma. And you know, you got these dumb fucking trolls and these fucking more. Let them fucking go. Let them brand themselves. They're fucking more. I mean, they're pathetic. Look, you got these guys sitting in their mama's fucking basement. Mixing, they're fucking total 100% fucking zeros in life. I mean, they got no fucking life. Their life is zero. They never had any fucking life. Zero. You know, let them fucking brand themselves. Let them. You know, I mean, all these fucking propaganda fucking piece of shit fucking whores. And by the way, just so you know, Diablo Canyon's already posturing. They've already gone back in and said we're fucking reevaluating on the decommissioning fucking evaluation. That's the first step to shut down. They're done. You know, but the wastes, we're getting it off there. We're, you know, thank you. We got a big fucking win in San Diego this week. That's a big win. You know, us fucking grassrooters. You know, that's a big win. We'll see how it plays out. They always find a way to fuck us every time we get our hopes up. You know, because the American populace goes along. The American populace is all into fucking killing other people. Fucking, I mean, because it's all me. They don't give a fuck. How can they give about the sea? They don't give a fuck about their own neighbor. They give a fuck about their own fucking family. I got my fucking mold shack. I got everything. It's all fucking image. I'm a carpenter. What's a hammer? I'm a fisherman. What's a boat? You know, I'm a baker. What's a cake? You know, I'm a human rights activist. Yeah, my slaves are in. I work for an NGO. Ooh, I work for Bernie Sanders. I'm a fucking, you know, I'm a, ooh, yay. I'm a political activist. I'm a human rights. No, you're not a fucking human. What, politically? In political theater, presidential thing, you're a fucking human rights activist? No, you're fucking not. You're pathetic. You know, fuck. Look at fucking, what have you accomplished? None of you've ever accomplished fucking anything. Zero. Fucking zero. Backwards. Fucking wake up. You know, so the fight fucking goes on. My fight fuck goes on. I'm not afraid of you fucking rat pussy fucking trolls. Fucking hide behind names in your mama's basement. Fuck, your pathetic fucking jokes. Really, you know. So, you got no life. I mean, you don't even understand what life is. You've never had any fucking life. And so, I'm all about the full fucking spectrum of fucking life. I've always lived life to the fullest, even full of fucking cancer with a central line hanging out of my jugular. I mean, think about who can do that. Platelet counts of 30, walking the coast of fucking California, in the streets of New York City, in the streets of fucking Knoxville fucking Tennessee, in Eugene fucking Oregon, with a central line hanging out of my jugular vein, documenting the fucking coast with a $40 fuck YouTube camera, sicker than fuck. You know, on your own. Who the fucking sleeping on fucking park benches on the fucking beach in the shitty? Who the fucking do that? Who the fucking do that? Oh, I fucking did it, and I'll continue to do it. You know, we'll keep documenting those tadpoles down there. We'll keep taking a fucking look. By the way, they had a bunch of more fucking little crabs wash up in San Diego yesterday. All hands on fucking deck. All hands on deck. Stand tuned as you fucking sheep stand by and watch the Pacific Ocean be raped. Watch fucking the mother be raped right in her fucking womb, and you all fucking stand by and just watch it. Not me, motherfuckers. Stand tuned.